Welcome back to the BTB Show, everyone. Today, it is myself and Omar in the recording studio with the resident Knicks fans to celebrate a resounding Knicks victory. Record-breaking win for the New York Knicks last night over the Atlanta Hawks. I think the final score was 140-89. In the closeout game of the series, the Knicks take the series 4-2. Omar, I know you weren't feeling too great after the first three games of the series. You guys came on here, you guys talked about that. How are you feeling now, and what changed about this series in the last three games?
Karl Anthony fucking Towns. And I think you know that too, man. It's the amount of actual, I don't know why Mike Brown has avoided this all season. Give Cat the ball, let him distribute the ball, and just see what happens. And goddamn it, it's proving wonders here. He's looking like Nikola Jokic. He can pass the ball just as well. I mean, I'm seeing it with my own two eyes, and it's kind of crazy. It's like the Knicks kind of said, you know what? We got Jokic at home, man. What are we doing here? Karl Anthony Towns is a really important piece of this puzzle. If we do not continue to feed Karl Anthony Towns and allow him to distribute the ball, even if it does hurt Brunson's numbers, precious numbers, if it's getting the win, it's getting the win. OG's getting involved. Mikhail's getting involved. Mikhail, shout out to you. I want to say 7 for 8, 8 for 8 maybe last night, 25 points. Great job.
24, I want to say.
Something for that, yeah. Right. He was near perfect, and it culminated in the past three games. He only had about 15 points in the past three games. He had 24 last game. That's already showing the improvement. I don't know what happened to Mikhail this year, but that's something that he could do almost every night last year, and it was kind of crazy not to see that anymore. And now we're seeing OG rise up and be this new offensive third option that's been so consistent for the past couple of games. I mean, dude, shout out to him, bro. He's really becoming this two-way player that I haven't seen come out the woodwork. He's like, yeah, when he first got traded here, you're like, yeah, he's here for defense. You know, he's really good at defense, and you weren't sure where his offense was, yada yada yada. And you start to see why he wanted to be more involved in Toronto's offense. You see why the main complaint that you heard about him coming over here to New York was the fact that he wasn't getting his offensive touches. And hey, correct me if I'm wrong, 27 last night? Close to 30-something?
Yeah, I mean, I think he got taken out super early, but he was in the mid-20s at least.
He was in the mid-20s at least. He had 21 in the first quarter, man.
He outscored the Hawks in the first quarter by himself.
Hey, man, he outscored the Hawks in two quarters. It was like 72-19 at one point.
Halfway through the second, I think they took the lead back from OG, but I think with 4 minutes into the second, he still had more than the Hawks, and then they hit a couple shots. But
just to seal it up here and pass it on to you, man, because I know you're feeling the exact same thing. We have to get more. We have to get more of Cat involved, and we need to just continue doing what we're doing. We're not going to beat Boston or Philly if they do that, and shout out to Philly. They 3-3. 3-3 for them too.
Yeah.
So
the time of recording, the Boston Philly series just went to 7 last night as well. So we don't know who the Knicks will be playing in the next round. But I think whoever they do play, there's definitely a lot from this series the Knicks can take into it. As Omar mentioned, the kind of a more Karl Anthony Towns post-centric offense, which is not something I thought I'd ever say as something that would be a positive and that could work. But I mean, he has. I'm not going to go as far as say he looks like Jokic. I'm not going that far. To be fair, Jokic is home right now. He doesn't play defense, but I do think Towns' playmaking was a big part of why the Knicks turned it around in these last three games. I think, making sure he's involved in the offense, that was one of my big criticisms about the first 2 to 3 games, was it felt like Towns really was not getting involved, especially when he was playing with Jalen Brunson. But I think they're doing a better job at staggering Brunson and Towns' minutes in the last 3 games. They're getting Towns more directly involved in offensively, back to the basket, low post, high post. I think that's been a big help. I agree with OG. I think he's been phenomenal this series, MVP of the series, in my book, without a doubt. I think obviously he played phenomenal last night, but he's really been doing this the whole series. It was not his fault that the team was down 2-1 in the first place. But really, the biggest catalyst in my mind has been the defense. I think this is the best defensive 3-game stretch of the Knicks maybe I've ever seen. So connected, getting their hands on literally everything defensively. Hawks put the ball on the floor, poked away. Hawks try and pass, deflection, turnover, interception, clearing the boards really well. Towns, Mitchell Robinson, OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges. I think OG Anunoby had 8 rebounds pretty much every game this series.
You mean the time where we had Mitchell Robinson and then he got ejected?
Right. But overall in the series, like really just phenomenal defense. And the Hawks, like I will say, like credit to them. They like I think they are a good team, and I think the fact that they got blown out these last 3 games, especially last night, doesn't change that. I think they do have a bright future, but they are like they were a legitimate team. I think we saw a lot of their offensive struggles come to the forefront when they were unable to adjust kind of the up defensive intensity that the Knicks had in 4, 5, and 6. I also think a small part of that is just like they were not able to deal with the adversity. Maybe you could say maybe it's just lack of talent, or like I'd say lack of talent overall, but like they are a younger team, not a ton of guys with deep playoff experience. When they kind of got punched in the mouth in Game 4 and it was tied 2-2, we really didn't see them respond in Game 5, and we definitely didn't see them respond in Game 6. So I think that's something they're going to have to look at, but I do think the core of this Hawks team going into next year like should stay around. Like they absolutely overachieved, even though they did. It's a terrible way to end the season. We've almost never seen a team get blown out that badly at a closeout game at home.
They may want to trade Dyson Daniels.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think they do got to look at Dyson Daniels and say like he did not have a good series. Like we can be honest, he did not have a good series.
Bro, I have to just poke you here. I'm sorry.
You're good.
Because for the year, and I'm looking over the year because he's supposed to be this Jalen Brunson stopper, and he's supposed to be. I'm hate watching at this point, right? 20% from 3. You're supposed to be the 3-and-D option, and you're shooting 23%.
Well, I don't think they ever thought he's supposed to be a 3-and-D option, but certainly when you're shooting 20% from 3, it makes offense a lot harder when you're playing 4-on-5.
I mean, yeah. I mean, this was the most dominant game from the New York Knicks, and I feel like when you mentioned that they got punched in the mouth, Atlanta got punched in the mouth, it's got to be this entire series. Yeah, they got up 2-1 and they were ready to go. CJ McCollum getting fired up from the Garden for some reason. I think he gets
did all he could. Like CJ McCollum is 34 years old. Like he's not a spring chicken anymore. He did all he could in this series, and he was the main catalyst in those 2 wins. But I think at some point you got to look at Jalen Johnson to step up. I mean, listen, this is his first playoff series as the real like 1A main option. He did not look like a main option in these 6 games. He looked like a third option at best.
Yeah, and a lot of people were still waiting for Nickeil Alexander-Walker to start getting started. And I was like, he's being locked up. It's not the fact that he's not good, because if we let him wide open for some of those games, we saw he can go on a 9-0 run by himself.
Yeah,
so OG was on him most of the time. Yeah. So, I mean, everybody was waiting for Nickeil Alexander-Walker to get started, and I was just like, I think they're putting out the fire that is Nickeil Alexander-Walker pretty well, and they did a really good job defending him. He was a great MIP choice. I think that was the best choice they could have taken. There is a lot of good names there, but I think Nickeil definitely deserved that. And going from 8 points to 20 points a game, that's crazy.
It is. And that's a credit, honestly, too. The Knicks defense as a whole, but I think specifically guys like Josh Hart, who guarded him for a lot of the series. Mikal Bridges, I think, did an underrated job defending him. Even in the earlier games, I don't think that gets talked about enough. Mm-hmm. OG Anunoby doing a great job. Like, he was just a defensive monster this whole series. So I think all 3 of those guys kind of took their turns matching up against the Jalen Johnsons and the Nickeil Alexander-Walkers. And by and large, neither of them really had like one game this series where you look at them and say like they really stood out and they like really carried their team. I think both of those wins were CJ McCollum dominated, at least offensively. So I think that's great for them. But going into next year, I think that you have to look at the other 2 and say those are the Hawks' long-term 1 and 2 options offensively. I think that's still fair to say. I don't think you're banking on 35-year-old CJ McCollum doing this again next year, especially for a full regular season.
Jalen Johnson's still got a step to go, so if I'm Atlanta, I'm excited.
True. I mean, yeah. Again, this is the first.
CJ McCollum leading the charge. I mean, veteran. You need veteran leadership in a young team like that, and I'm glad that they grabbed CJ because he's one of the most professional guys in the league.
Yeah, I think he fits that team really well. I think that showed.
Yeah, guys, let us know what you guys think in the comment section. Knick fans, do you want Boston or do you want Philly? What's looking like the more favorable choice for y'all? In my opinion, you could put Joel Embiid on the Celtics, and I still think we win. But hey, that's just me. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Let's wrap this shit up and move on to the next one. Peace.